friends.
Welcome back to the Zero Strategy Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. It is good to be back. We have a returning host today.
Our special guest today.
My name is Cody Fly. Today I'm joined by my co-hosts Unholy Cyber.
Hello.
Grog Mode.
Hello.
And Sir Humps.
Hello.
We hope you've been doing well. Hope you haven't missed us too much for the past couple of weeks. We got lots and lots and lots to talk about. But first of all, we'll do a little catch up. I'm going to do it in a different order because I want to save Cyber till last. Grog, how have you been doing? What have you been up to?
Grog wasn't ready. He's like, I'm not ready.
I was come last. That's fine.
I didn't. I usually come first. So I've been doing all right. Yeah, this week Apex server shit the bed. So didn't get to play any of that. But I did. I started a new like city sim type game called Industries of Titan, which although it doesn't have the same sort of like moral complexity of Frostpunk, which PS sequel has been announced. So if no one has ever played Frostpunk before and you enjoy any sort of like Civilization-esque game, you have to try it. It's so good. The music isn't impeccable, but Industries of Titan is another really good game, but it has a sci-fi setting, so there's less of these like moral quandaries where you have to like set policy for your citizens, but more like you really have to build a bunch of shit. The cool thing is that unlike where you just say, okay, I need to build a mine, I'm going to plop down a building here and it just does its job. Each of these buildings you can go inside of and you can like Tetris together like ways for them to work better inside. So it's like a game within a game. It's been good. Other than that, Lauren was away for a week. So it's just me and the dogs. And I survived. She's back. So everything's good.
Wow, yeah. Hot Pockets?
No. They don't have...
Vegan Hot Pockets, whatever. It's like just a lettuce.
it's just
tomato sauce.
It's just lettuce and cheese
delicious.
microwaved inside
cheese.
a dough
vegan
ball.
Cheese, obviously.
I'm not vegan.
I know. I just like to say you are.
How about you, Humps? How are you?
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I'm doing fine. That's it. I'm doing okay. Nothing spectacular. Nothing horribly disappointing. I'm doing just okay. I've been streaming a little bit more. Trials is back in Destiny 2, so I've been hopping in that. Say what?
You'd be taking my time slot.
Okay, well, see, I'm returning to my time slot, and Condi is for some reason in it now. You saw an opening. It was like, oh, I don't work at. I'm not a postie anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take this time slot that was already predetermined as mine. But anywho, it's fine because hey, look, Condi wants to play Trials, and now he'll play games with me, which is fine.
Already,
I guess it's. I mean, it's fun. We have good time. It's a killer on my KD, though. I will say that it is hard to play with Condi, whilst also trying to carry some people. Help people out. I'm pretty decent at the game, but I'm not like so good to where I can like double carry. So it was a lot nicer when Dennis was playing.
It's good to know that nothing's really changed between us all.
No, I love it. One of my favorite things in life is honestly just shitting on Condi. I don't know why. It gives me this tingle. And it's probably because he's like a super nice guy, and just to shit on a super nice guy is funny to me. And it's funny to me because he's my friend.
It's gonna be
if he
really
wasn't
funny.
My friend, it'd just be mean, I think, right? Yeah, it'd definitely be mean if I didn't know.
It's gonna be really funny in December when he comes to Scotland and I just stand him up.
Oh, please. Dale's already DMing me. She's scheduling time off. Get the fuck out of here. You guys are so damn excited. It's not even funny. But yeah, if you didn't know that, that's news. Tickets are booked if you're Scottish. But me and the wife.
My wife.
Oh, me and my wife.
You didn't set up
Eve,
properly.
jeez, Eve needs to be here. She's a real good proponent of that. Me and my wife, we are going to we got our tickets booked. We're doing a big EU trip because one of our friends is having a destination wedding in Italy. So we're just like, well, fuck it. We're gonna make it a thing out of it. So we're gonna be.
So Mario and Princess Toadstool are finally tying the knot. Is that? Yeah.
So who am I in this exactly?
Bowser.
I thought you were just you. I thought you were just you.
I'm Bowser.
Okay, or apparently you're just been Bowser living on the streets. You sound like you 10 miles of rough road right now.
I need my Koopas. But yeah, so we're going to Europe and we'll be in Scotland for about 5 days. So we're going to be hooking up with Condi and the wife and probably other people. I think Condi, right? I think some Scottish people might be showing up for us.
Yeah, it'd be nice to get a little night out with everyone. It'd be a good time.
Yeah.
Now that I know that you're coming back in December, I'm kind of slowly trying to tweak my plans a little bit.
Hey.
I'm back in January, so
shit.
I'm like, I want to see him.
Yeah, you need
to figure it out.
I think we leave I don't know about the dates. I don't need to tell you all the dates, but I'll tell you the dates later. You don't need to know my flight plans. You know what I'm saying? Just know we'll be there. But other than that, so the tickets are booked. We're good on that. But other than that, day-to-day things, we've been doing a lot of things in the house. Actually, just a lot of no remodeling. I might have talked about this last time. I don't remember. But we're just doing just a lot of redecorating. So I painted the entire living room, kitchen, and dining room. It was a blast. I had a lot of fun. Well, the painting part was fun. The taping off part and getting everything like plastic wrapped, that was not fun.
Well, anything that involves a gun, I think you're happy with.
Oh, yeah. I used a paint gun, so it was fantastically awesome.
What is a paint gun? Is it like Splatoon?
It's like a
IRL?
It's like, it's like Splatoon. Like, you know how like cars get spray painted?
Right. Okay, I see what you mean.
It's like that, but for other things.
It's not like fully automatic shooting out.
It's fully automatic, but
in that
no
sense,
globs.
it is not at all like Splatoon. Okay. It is not blobs. No.
Right.
We
weren't shooting
it's like spray
cannons at our wall.
It's like spray paint. I understand.
Yeah. But without that kind of like propellant.
I mean, honestly, that actually sounds like a really cool idea, and I might make a room out of that. That sounds pretty dope, honestly. But other than that, I mean, we just been trying to play a little bit more Destiny, trying to stream a little bit more if I can. No headway on any other parts of my life, but hey, we're hanging out.
We vibing.
Condi. Let's get Condi. Condi, what have you been doing?
Yeah, I feel like Cyber's got the big one to update us on.
Yeah.
I've not been doing too much. As Grog said, Apex servers shit the bed. It's been broke for almost a week now, and I'm kind of over it. I jumped back into trials. Had a great time last weekend. Not so much fun this weekend. So we'll see on that.
Why not this weekend?
Say again.
What happened? What happened this weekend?
It's a long and complicated story. I mean, we can get into it, but like, let's
it's
get
not
the
even,
intros out of the way.
They just changed the matchmaking and how it works, so now it's like.
Oh, so like if you go flawless once, you get put into the different kind of group.
Yeah.
But like, people don't like it. It
and
blows my
matchmaking
mind.
in general is just kind of weird.
Yeah, it blows my mind because, as a bunch of people on Twitter said, last weekend was like the single most successful weekend of trials they've had in a very long time, and someone at Bungie decided, let's change it for no reason.
It doesn't make any sense to me, specifically on that, because people are like, oh, it's way easy now. What do you mean it's easy? You're still playing against 7 teams. You know what I mean? You still have to play against 7 teams and win against 7 teams.
Yeah.
The population
you still need a
is
streak.
Finally big enough to where you're not just playing the hardcore and the cheaters. And the cheaters, most of the cheaters are gone.
Here's the thing,
like,
even without like a competitive mode like trials or ranked or whatever game we're talking about, player population in a live service game is the lifeblood of that game.
Yeah.
If any game where it is multiplayer, and specifically those where you have to play against someone, because you figure PvE, if you load into a Destiny instance on a planet and you can have up to 9 people like per instance, like if you just happen to be there and there's like one other person, you're not really going to note it. You know what I mean? Like Like
Yeah.
there could be 9 people there or one other person there. You're not really going to notice for PvE. But for PvP, where teams have a size and there's like an expectation for how the lobby is supposed to be full, if you don't have a full lobby, you don't have a happy gaming population and then, it's kind of a cascading effect at that point.
And
But,
when Connie says like most successful, we're talking like
it was
the average
909%
was like
better than the last season of Trials.
It was seriously like maybe a few hundred teams a weekend, up to 70,000.
Yeah, ridiculous increase, and it dropped off this weekend big time,
And it dropped off a lot.
Dropped off over 25%.
which is wild. But hey, we'll see. Anyway, other than that, I took the weekend last weekend, which is one of the reasons I wasn't on the podcast, to redo my office. We've also been doing a bit of redecorating in the house, and I decided it would be a good idea. My desk used to be over there behind me, so I just ripped everything out, reorganized the whole office, got my nice new neon sign on the wall, and that was a long and honestly horrible day or a couple of days, because you start out and you're like, this is going to be great, we're going to do a fresh start, and then once you've spent 4 hours getting everything out of the room, it's like, I don't know, man. And then trying to connect up all the PCs and monitors again, because I did it once and then forgot how to do it, and then nothing worked. It was a nightmare, but we got it.
But I'm sure now that you've like sort of rehooked everything together, your cable management is exceptional, right? Like you had the opportunity.
Oh
to,
yeah, I'm
like,
sure your cable management's
Cyber,
fantastic right now.
how what have you been up to for the last little while?
I want to talk about your cable management.
I bought a cable box, and I figured that's the easy way out, right?
Did you install it?
Not yet. It's still in the Amazon wrapping downstairs, but I'm gonna put all the cables in the box, and it's gonna look neat and tidy.
You had one opportunity to do it as you were doing it. Now it's gonna be
I'm
a
not one
nightmare.
to talk. My
Everything's a
cables
different-
are absolutely atrocious.
My
I was just
PCs
looking. I was like, ugh.
My PCs used to be on carpet, which I know is not good. Now they're both up on the desk, but now cables that worked previously aren't long enough. So they're like stretched across the desk. I can't manage them. And I don't have replacement cables that are longer all of a sudden. So it's a mess. It is. If anything,
Yeah, that's
worse.
why you have Amazon.
If anything, it's worse than it was. But I'm going to put it all in a box and forget about it.
I'm going to share something really funny real quick. Our next door neighbor,
inductive
interference. When he first moved in, he's a nice enough guy. He's just a little weird. But he's the guy who, like, within the first 3 days, like, asked us to borrow a cup of sugar and asked us to borrow, like, flour. And we're just like, is he just playing out a rom-com? Like, is this like...
He's going to murder you in your sleep. That's what that means.
And then, like, later he asked for, like 2 weeks after that, he asked if he could borrow a muffin tin. And we're just like, okay. I've never had a neighbor like this where they just want to borrow everything. He has our... because when we moved in, our wife and I mean, he's literally like, our door faces his door. We were like, here's our phone number. If you're away and you need somebody to like check on your mail or whatever, like let us know. And he started texting us requests for things. But 2 weeks ago, he said, do you have an HDMI cable I could borrow? And I'm thinking, shit. Motherfucker, you don't borrow an HDMI cable. Like if I gave you an HDMI cable, that's not leaving your house, because whatever you're hooking it into is not temporary.
Well, that's why you reply, you're like, oh, you like having a party and need an extra cable for like a projector screen or something like that. And then he's like, no, I need it for my PlayStation. Or something like that. He's like, actually, make sure it's 2.1 at least.
Dude, so what's funny is Lauren summarily just responded, no, we don't. Even though we have probably 6,000 like spare HDMI cables. I told her, I said, if he ever asks again and you did want to concede on this one thing, give him the 115-foot HDMI cable that I have that I don't use anymore. And she's like, why would I give him that? I said, because it's the most ungainly, thick, insulated monster one that I've got. And it would be a nightmare to it's like coils of rope. And so I was like, yeah, let's just we would give him that one. She's like, why? I was like, just to be petty.
Like a double aught gauge.
Anyway,
yes, Cyber has been, God, feels like years. What have you been up to? Tell us all about it.
It's been about 3 months since I've last been on the podcast. It feels weird. Feels weird being up this early. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, you're in the same time zone now.
Yeah, this is the first time he's waking up for the podcast.
It feels weird. So
The hangovers will be even worse.
I know. Oh, Cyber's gonna be missing a lot more, I think, or Cyber's gonna just be
Cyber's
not
weekly
hung
hangover.
over. That
this
I
is
know
why I keep
Cyber.
drinking.
Yeah, there you go. Cyber won't be hung over.
So literally the last like 3 months has always been we'll go out for one drink and then usually the sun's coming up. So I'm gonna have to stop that. I'm getting a little bit too old for that shit. But
Yeah, you got kids now, man.
I do the ferrets. I have 4 ferrets now, which I like right there. Mary is in this perpetual cycle of not waking up and always nudging me because the ferrets are awake. So I'm usually up at 6.
Gotta get him up, get breakfast for him and shit.
I'm usually in bed by like 4 or 3. So I'm running on 2 hours worth of sleep. So
Are you co-sleeping or do they have their own room?
Home room. So they're in here.
Oh, that's
And
I
then-
nice.
in my
bedroom's
mind's eye,
fine.
I just pictured a bassinet for parrots.
Yeah, right next to Cyber's side.
Well, they actually roam. They roam the entire house, bar like the wardrobes and shit like that. So sometimes they sleep with us. It's cute.
Yeah.
How's
Any
your cable
accidents?
management?
Like, do they wake up? Any accidents?
Cable management's
remember-
perfect.
Because I remember
it has
you
to
had
be
some
with-
issues where one of them got into some wires and shit, right?
Oh yeah.
So the PC's been up for about a week. I've literally catched 4 ferrets on here maybe 50 times. And I don't understand how they keep getting up. I have this shitty like chair from Walmart until I get like
They're
a gaming
14
chair.
inches long.
And they can climb like a motherfucker.
That's all they
Yep.
do. You know what I mean? Of course.
So every like we have
Taller than Condi, full stretch.
we have a dining room and literally like he can lift himself up on the chair, navigate his body, lift himself up, and then he's just eating our food. And it's like,
Yeah.
but apart
They
from
get
that,
big and they just start eating your food. It's a pain in the ass, man. Wait till they start school.
Wait till they go to college. I was gonna say.
It gets a little easier because then you have some free time. But you know,
but apart from that, I have just been on vacation, man. Like, weed is legal in Canada.
oh,
so,
interesting.
So
We'll
yeah,
be visiting Cyber quite soon.
So literally
say
just
hi.
been spending time with family and just it's been insane.
I was actually the closest I was ever to Cyber a few weeks ago.
And he didn't
We were
come and
probably
see
with
me.
I wasn't allowed to. Canada wasn't open yet. It was like a couple days before they opened.
It is, but you have to travel by flight. It's stupid. Like you can get in the country flying,
Oh.
but you cannot drive through the like. How does that make sense?
I wasn't gonna
Cool.
book a flight to cross a river.
It's probably cheaper.
Probably.
I like this trend of like Humps is almost near all of us.
Yeah.
We can never get quite.
Oh yeah.
Like he was at the
Yeah.
Philadelphia airport like on a layover for like 2 hours, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Come see me."
And this
I'm
fool
like,
wouldn't come see me. I would have left the security station, you know? I wouldn't have made you gone through.
I didn't. That seemed. I don't know why, but it seemed like that was.
I messaged him on stream and he wouldn't stop streaming to come and see.
God damn it! But
And then
yeah,
Cyber wouldn't go to freaking Niagara Falls just to wave his hands.
I mean, it's like an 8-hour drive.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's pretty far.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
Like
insane.
a solid 30-35 minutes to the airport for me. So that would have been a lot.
Oh, that-
And fuck UPS because they pretty much destroyed everything. Everything that I have is either wet because for some reason it went through a fucking hurricane, or it's scratched. Like my Go XLR is missing buttons, the screens are scratched. And you should have seen
Did
the
you
amount of
package
fucking-
these yourselves or did someone else package them up?
My mum done it, and like I kid you not, I think she used about 3 miles worth of bubble wrap.
No shit. So she did well.
Like each screen had
Yeah.
bubble wrap about that thick either side, and it still got damaged.
Damn.
Like
man.
they must have just been yeeting it off the fucking plane to the next destination because fuck me. And like it was so wet, like every single piece of clothing that we had was soaking. So I'm surprised the monitors even turned on.
Yeah, that's
Not that kind of wet humps.
Sorry, kind of zoned off for a second.
But the only gripe that I have is Monster is extremely expensive in North America.
Hey,
Compared to
but
the
you
UK?
have better than Monster, because I was in Canada once, and you have this fantastic energy drink called which I
cocaine.
think. Okay, I was not. Is that a drink? No. Okay.
No, but a lot of people in Canada use that as an energy drink. I figured that out.
Is that a big Canada? That's a big Canada
Fuck
thing.
me,
huh?
Like
No,
the
Beaver
police
Buzz.
circle.
I thought that was a
Oh, yeah,
hilarious
Beaver Buzz.
name.
Oh my
Beaver
God.
Buzz. I just think that's funny. You don't.
You know it's got maple syrup in it?
Come on, Jesus.
You know it's got maple syrup in it?
Of course it does.
That checks out.
And you got Hortons.
Tim Hortons?
Tim Hortons.
Timmy
the
Ho-Ho's.
coffee's kind of mediocre.
Coffee box. Yeah, it's.
We've got one in Scotland now. There's one in Glasgow.
Is there Tim
There's
Hortons
one-
in Scotland?
Dude, there's one by me. We get coffee.
Yeah.
over
Oh,
there
shit.
sometimes. Yeah, dude.
No shit.
Yeah, little
Wow.
Timmy Ho-Ho's.
But they don't sell Canadian stuff. They sell like British stuff. It's kind of pointless. They like you know
Oh.
how like when you come
Those complete-
here you
oh.
get like soup and a sandwich, you get like the poutine, all that kind of stuff. In the UK it's like breakfast sandwiches and like it's just pointless.
Poutine fries, bruv.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Do they have
put
a,
on
do they have a $1
Good.
screen
Good.
menu?
They're so good. I lived in upstate New York for a while, which was like 3 hours from the Canada border, and like so a lot of
So
stuff kind of came down, and the poutine fries. Ugh.
I'll get a little bit personal. For the last 3 months, right, all we have been doing every single day is drinking and eating, right? Drinking and eating. I put on 50 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
I had to go back to the gym. Like it has been insane. Like you drink like I don't know about 5,000 calories worth of like alcohol every single night, and it's just
Yeah, it adds quick. Yeah, I had
And
that
poutine-
phase when I got out of the military. I just started gulp gulp gulp. And I was like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, I took a picture of me and my daughter, and I looked at the picture on my phone. I was like, dear goodness, who the fuck is that? I was like, oh my god.
Condi, when you visit poutine, I'm gonna get you like smoked meat poutine.
Oh,
You will
my
never want to go
goodness.
back
I don't know what
to
that
Scotland.
is.
That sounds
That's-
amazing.
So smoked meat, right?
Uh-huh.
Done slowly.
Just undisclosed meat, or is there like an animal attached
You
to
can
it?
get other kinds. You can get chicken. You can get beef.
What's
You
like
can get
bring your
bacon.
own?
Yeah, it's BYOB. Bring your own beef.
So it's poutine is cheese
badger.
curds, gravy, and chips.
Okay,
But it's fucking good.
I believe you. I'll believe you.
Trust me, you're gonna enjoy it.
Well, we're glad to have you back. We got a lot of Twitch things, a lot of Twitch news to talk about, which we should dive into.
Absolutely.
I want to
Riveting
start.
thing.
I want to start off with the news of a couple of notable streamers leaving Twitch and going to YouTube, which is DrLupo and TimTheTatMan. Both announced that they're basically they've signed deals and they're exclusively streaming on YouTube Gaming now.
OMG.
One of the incredible points to note is they did actually say they got lowballed quite badly.
By Twitch.
So Twitch got a little bit too comfortable, didn't think they would leave, and they went, fuck
Well,
you.
here's the thing.
We're going to
is-
play with Dr. Disrespect.
I remember when the whole Mixer thing came about, Lupo was, I believe he was quoted saying something along the lines of, I wouldn't want to leave Twitch because Twitch is where all this charity stuff happens, and that's obviously a big part of his stream. So I was kind of shocked to see him move to YouTube, but obviously YouTube's a different platform to what Mixer is, and I believe he
Well,
said
YouTube. I mean, YouTube's a great place for. I mean, they do a lot of charity. A lot of people do a lot of
Yeah.
charity stuff there.
And-
Like, it's a. I mean, I think you have even more access. That's probably a better move for Dr. Lupo, honestly, because you have more
Probably.
access to people that
and they've got
wouldn't necessarily go to
established
Twitch.
they've got established channels, both these guys as well on YouTube.
Oh, for
so-
sure. Yeah.
But they he was quite happy saying that he was paid enough money by YouTube where he can comfortably just live his life. He
Spend
can
money
spend more
on it.
time with family. He doesn't have the pressure anymore. He can afford to spend time with
That's
his
nice.
family and stuff. So, and I think probably the same for Tim.
I imagine.
And yeah, they both mentioned that they were lowballed by Twitch with their contracts. So, Very interesting to say the least.
And yeah, Dr. Disrespect, he's super happy that he's got his buddy back.
Yeah.
And the soon Twitch.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too because that was kind of a semi new news, recent news. There was a clip of him on his stream where he said we did find out what it was. We know why they did it, and that's why we're suing the fuck out of them. So he didn't say what it was, but he did say that his team does know what it is.
If you think about it, though,
he did say he's known for a few months.
Yeah.
If he knows the reason why,
you see,
he knows that.
I honestly don't think he did.
I don't think. I think he knew.
I think he had I think he might have had some ideas, but I don't
didn't
think
know the
he knew.
specifics. Yeah. And I think now that he knows, and now that he knows that it's going to be public, I don't think he gives a shit if like all the details come out there. If it was going to be something like really bad, you know, like if we're talking, you know, the unspeakable shit that happened, then fuck knows what it could have been.
Well, I mean, I don't think he would be even saying we're gonna sue the fuck out of him.
Exactly.
Well, because you figure if he opens a lawsuit, like that's going to be in the legal brief. That stuff will be public information. Like people, you know, like people will get the details of the like plaintiff and defendant's information, you know, as per the case.
And
so
he seems fine with that. So whatever it is, it doesn't seem like it's character.
Yeah, I think it's moving away from the whole like, you know, the internet goes down that rabbit hole where did he like sexually assault somebody or like did this happen at TwitchCon and all this shit, and now I think it's more in the realms of business. Maybe he was speaking to the wrong people while he was in an exclusive contract and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's more down that route.
I have a fear that we're just never gonna know because I have this suspicion that it's gonna be settled out of court because if Twitch did do something wrong, they don't want people to know that, right? And if the doc did something wrong, he's not going to want people to know that. He wouldn't be suing them if he felt like he did something that was going to affect his brand. So to me, it's like Twitch they've worked hard to make sure that doesn't get out. Whatever happened. True. They've worked very hard because we all know on the internet it's been over. But they're gonna know.
Someone's gonna have to know eventually because he knows, and the NDAs or whatever they signed are only for so long. It's not a permanent NDA. So eventually,
but whatever it is, part of the. I mean, I'm not a lawyer, right? But if they settle out of court, can they not have it in the terms that they are not allowed to speak about it?
Oh yes. Absolutely.
Only if he signs up to it.
Only if he signs up to it. It obviously depends if the doc's willing to take a settlement.
But a lot of out-of-court settlements have their own NDA.
That whole thing affected his whole livelihood. He was forced to go to YouTube. He didn't get a YouTube, you know, I mean, I don't know if he got a YouTube offer or not, but I mean, he had to go to YouTube. It wasn't an option for him. So like,
he's on like
if he's
the revenue
mad enough about it, if he's mad enough about it, he can be like, no. I'm Dr. Disrespect, brother. Like, you know, it's not like he's a small sized dude to where like he can't combat Twitch. Here's
another thing to consider is, and I'm putting on a bit of a tinfoil hat here, but there's no reason to also assume that there's anything behind this either, because he still has said nothing, which obviously from a legal standpoint, he would be advised by his legal counsel not to make a public statement as to what the matter is, so as to not, you know, like put his foot in it. However, it's not uncommon for people to say things, especially things that are attention grabbing, to get themselves back in the news cycle. True. I mean, like, I'm not suggesting that there's nothing to it. We do know that he was let go. We know that, you know, at the time, both he and Twitch said that they were not disclosing why. He says that he knows now, but literally there's been all this, like, think about how little we've been talking about it here, but how much of it's taken up of our time. And yet, like, literally no new information has been gained at all since he literally departed the platform. Nothing has happened. So in that sense, I have to wonder if at some level this could be just a tactic, simply just to, you know, keep himself, you know, covered on the pages of, you know, whatever esports YouTube channel, you know, wants to talk about it. Somebody asked in chat, for anyone who doesn't know, Dr. Disrespect was one of the larger Twitch streamers on the platform, and definitely one of the largest at the time for Call of Duty and PUBG and other shootery kind of games. He has this kind of like over the top 80s action hero persona. And he's definitely like rocking a personality. He like kind of cosplays in his streams and stuff. And he was really popular, but he just disappeared from the platform. And at the time, it was very sudden. His last stream there was like no final, really, there's no final send off or remarks. It was just kind of like, oh, all right, well, take it easy. And then he just was gone, and it was never disclosed as to why. So that's just so that people understand who we're talking about. But yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's like, I think it's interesting, but also like we know fuck all about nothing new has come to light.
Yeah.
Like literally nothing new. Just him just saying,
Well,
I now
mean,
know.
confirmation that he knows is new.
Yeah.
Because you're just under the assumption that, like Condi, he probably already knew like from the beginning.
Well,
I
think it's
suppose
the specifics that he didn't know.
Yeah.
I think the fact that he's open to saying on his stream, we know the reason and we're suing them, means that, you know, in his mind, he's not in the wrong.
Yeah.
For it.
Yeah.
And, you know, as much as, you know, I like Twitch as a platform, I've heard a lot from bigger creators about Twitch can be very petty with things. And, you know, we've seen this now with, you know, even the fact that they're willing to lose to the very, very big creators to YouTube because they're lowballing them in their offers. It feels like Twitch at like maybe the top management level feels very comfortable and confident and is maybe just willing to kind of sweep some stuff under the rug and just, you know, to suit their wants and needs without really considering that, you know, they really need to fucking step up, because all it'll take is a few more people to move, and I guarantee you more streamers will be moving to YouTube, probably more big names.
Here's the
make
thing.
A few updates.
I know, I'm moving to YouTube. I've already moved.
How will Twitch recover?
I think some points of consideration are Twitch, like any large organization, is not a monolith. We talk about Twitch and we talk about it as a singular entity, but you know, and I'm this is not me, you know, trying to take the bullet for Mr. President here, but I am, you know, there are tiers of teams, and the teams that are working on X part of Twitch and people that are working on Y part of Twitch and Z part of Twitch, like they are not all necessarily, you know, like they're not working under the same ethos. So yeah, there could be people in upper management who, you know, are happy to keep the purse strings a little tight, and you know, maybe they could have had a more competitive contract for these guys. But I don't think that I think often as we get caught up in these discussions of the platform, it can be, I guess I just want to remind us that like it can be easy to look at the platform in total as a monolith and then pin whatever dissatisfaction we have onto it. But I think that there are plenty of people working at Twitch who do really care about the platform. They care about their creators. I would say that like the other thing we know is that it wasn't just that these guys may or may not have been lowballed, you know, because they said they were, so they were. But we also know that they wouldn't have been able to leave Twitch were their contracts not coming to a close.
Yeah.
Right.
So when this news came to light, I looked at it exactly as when Mixer poached Shroud and Ninja. It's the same thing. It's just, this is healthy competition. It's a good thing that they left. It's not a good thing. I'm not saying like, good, be gone with them, which, you know, like that's not the point. Ironically,
anyway.
No. Ironically, the rapper Soldier Boy shit talked Tim the Tatman, and said like he said he fucking sold out. It's a ridiculous video. Please look it up. Yeah, he's standing in his chair, jumping up and down,
because he's a streamer now, right? He streams.
He's a streamer. He's a twit. Anyway, the clip is amazing. He's something. The clip is amazing in how awful and ridiculous it is. But long story short, their contracts came to an end, and this is just, you know, YouTube throwing its hat in the ring and poaching content. And honestly, I think it's good for both companies. I'm not saying that, oh, you know, good, you know, Lupo, like these were good guys. They did good things for the platform. I mean, fuck, like Lupo brought so much attention to the platform by way of his charities for St. Jude's. I mean, Twitch gave him like some crazy matching. They gave like a million or 1.5 million matching dono, like during one of his bigger like St. Jude streams. Like, they've done amazing things, and they also brought a lot of good eyes to Twitch. So they did good stuff for us, and I wish them well on YouTube. I just think that from like an industry standpoint, this kind of stuff is always going to happen. I expected that it would happen, just like when with Mixer setting a precedent, taking content creators the way they did. It's just a given. And will more people be going? Yeah, I don't think the exodus is over, but I think the exodus is only going to be happening not from lots of little small people who are either micro partners or not even partnered going to YouTube. That's not where we're going to see people really slip away. It's going to be other big content creators whose contracts have ended and they're, like being, given a better contract. I mean, this is just business.
100%.
And we just don't know. I guess for me, there's no reason to speculate like what Twitch is or isn't doing, because we just don't know. Were they being lowballed? Maybe, but I mean, like, this may mean that Twitch will invest more in contracts who are ending, and maybe those people will get better money. I just think that this is probably a good thing, but I don't know.
I don't think they will.
I want to make predictions a little bit on who else we think will go. I feel like the obvious one is Nick Merckx, but that might be too obvious.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling like YouTube are after the kind of sort of more brand friendly. I think people like Pokimane could go to YouTube. People that have established YouTube channels, like XQC is not going to go, right? Like, but I think people that are brand friendly, that are already in contracts with Twitch, and that are like gamers, I feel like people like Nick Merckx, Pokimane, that kind of crowd could go. Maybe Summit. I don't know about Summit, but I have a feeling.
What about your boyfriend?
Ludwig.
Yeah, what do you think of him?
Don't. Okay, first of all, not my boyfriend. Okay, kind of weird. But,
he wishes.
I haven't texted in days.
I don't think.
Is he playing hard to get?
I don't think people like, and I kind of look at them as some of like the new wave of like younger creators coming up, like Mizkif, Ludwig, and that whole crowd. I don't necessarily think they'll go, because I think a lot of their content's not necessarily gaming centric. A lot of these guys are just like just chatting and things like that on their streams. And for some reason, I just feel like that's not what YouTube's after. I feel like taking people like Lupo and Tim shows that they're kind of maybe looking for those like gaming. I might be totally wrong. That's just my feeling. I don't think those kind of people are going to be going over. I think you're looking at this sort of gamer streamers more likely. That's just my opinion. I don't think you'll see Ludwig go.
I think you're right, because the gamer streamers, as opposed to the just chatting streamers, like the gaming streamers have the potential to turn around more revenue, because they're going to there's more avenues for them to get into deals with game companies and products, and like, where like somebody who's just chatting, they might have a brand sponsorship, but I mean, you figure like, Tim's fucking eating Chipotle on stream, talking about, how he's sponsored by Chipotle and how much he likes Chipotle. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, so it's they're going to be able to fucking push Monster energy drinks. You know what I mean? Like, there's things that just are kind of an easier sell, I think, to a gaming audience. And so I think that's going to be...
I mean, even down to it, they literally call it YouTube Gaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The streaming platform side of YouTube.
Yeah, it's not YouTube streaming.
YouTube Gaming.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, true.
Yeah. So I think people that have more of a vested interest in the other areas of Twitch, with like the IRL streams and things like that, I don't know. I just don't think...
And video on demand content for gaming does well, whereas video on demand content for just conversational chatting, that kind of stuff, can do really well. But usually, if you look at the channels that are successful, it's like Psych2Go, or like, channels that are like breaking down, science and education and things like that, or psychology, philosophy. Yeah. like it's not going to just be some. Yeah, I agree with Condi 100%.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I think in the next few weeks we'll see a couple more.
I think in the next 6 months, like the fallout is obviously going to be clear because it's a huge coincidence the fact that Dr. Disrespect learned why he came off Twitch a couple of months ago, and TimTheTatMan and DrLupo decided to leave, knowing full well that like they were pretty good friends at one point. If not, they were playing almost every single day, or every single time that they streamed. Maybe they just learned some information that Twitch maybe was being a bit scummy. You can only speculate.
I mean, those could all be factors as well too. I mean, because like if you gotta figure if Dr. D found out, he probably told Tim. You know what I mean? Like Tim probably knows about it and being like, that's kind of bullshit, or maybe I don't know. There's all speculation.
And now we're into the realms of like we were talking about this right before. Like Humps spent like a few times away from. A bit of time away from streaming, so like he didn't speak to any of us really. But now we're in the realms of IRL is a huge factor, especially with like all the disposable income that these streamers have. And Nick Merckx had a barbecue where he invited a shitload of content creators. When this becomes a factor as well, lips get loose. People start talking about details, and probably everyone knows now.
Not a sponsor,
you know. I wish.
For audio listeners at home, he held up an alcoholic beverage when he said this.
So like, I don't think like somebody said in chat, I think it was Ginger, that NDAs just aren't really a thing anymore. You know, like the weight behind them, people have got like lawyers that can get them completely out of it now. So I think lips are loose. I think more details will come out in the next few
it's
weeks.
not even necessarily that. It's just, no matter if I sign an NDA, I'm still gonna tell my wife. You know what I mean? Like, you're still probably gonna tell somebody.
Yeah, and no one like I've been to these conventions. Like I've been to like meetups with streamers. Everyone talks about everything. It doesn't matter how secret it is. Like everyone talks. Everyone's like a little schoolgirl when it comes to gossip and shit like that. It's gonna come out. It is. It doesn't matter if there's an NDA. We're gonna find out eventually, but I have a feeling that it's not gonna be that bad. It's gonna be some minute detail where they felt the need to get rid of them, and then we're never gonna talk about it again. We're gonna have to find something else to talk about. It's gonna be DMCAs again.
Which honestly, it's why I think that like this is just a load of nothing. Like when he's saying he knows, I'm sure he knows. But it's like, who gives it? We don't know anymore. Like it really is. Now that you know that he knows, that's literally it. Like you could sum up in one breath the news update for the last year. Last year for Dr. Disrespect, he now knows. That's it.
I know, it's intense.
Stop.
It's intense.
Yeah, I know, it's wild.
It's intense,
stuff.
Bro.
But yeah, that's the thing is I think like when you do get down to it, we don't know anything more than we did before, and it is. I think the sensationalism is in the speculation because you could speculate anything. You could speculate, it probably is going to be relatively mundane. It's going to be something contractual, and like who gives a shit? That's just like whatever.
Yeah.
I think it is more interesting that Lupo and Tim left, but like Courage, JD, like he wanted to bring in those guys as well, and he's. He was an early person into YouTube in terms of like being on their gaming side. So, like I think we'll see more phase people, go to YouTube, but like whatever. I mean, it's not surprising. It's all business at the end of the day and just making money.
Yeah. I know we have a lot of topics to cover. There's one other kind of side to this that I wanted to bring up a little bit and talk about because I haven't really seen many people talking about this. It kind of relates in the sense that YouTube is trying to grab some of these big name creators and drag them over to their platform. I received an interesting email from Trovo. If you've heard of the platform Trovo, it basically
not until you mentioned it.
It looks exactly like Twitch, but it's one of these newer. Well, it's been around a little while now, but it's another streaming platform, and they sent me an email, and it seems like they're doing this kind of blanket offer to streamers now. And there's a lot of details to it, but the bullet point really was that they said, if you come to Trovo and you average 30 concurrent viewers up to 200 concurrent viewers, we'll pay you a salary from $800 a month up to like $11,000 a month based on your concurrent viewership, right? Which is insane. Like, there's no streamer on Twitch averaging 30 viewers that's making $800 a month. There's no way. Now, the caveat to that was, it said it was this, they were running this program up until the end of 2021. But I haven't really seen many people moving to Trovo.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, of course, they're gonna have these really astronomical things that they're gonna do for like smaller streamers just to get people over. Because, like, I mean, you got to figure, even if you had 200 viewers on Twitch, you go to Trovo, you ain't having 200 concurrent viewers. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
unless your
exactly.
community was just like so into you, they're like, yeah, I'm into this Trovo thing now. I don't know.
Now,
yeah,
to put a little context on it, it makes sense why Trovo exists and why these offers are also happening, because Trovo is owned by Tencent. So for anyone who doesn't know, Tencent is a $20 billion Chinese multinational technology company. Tencent is heavily invested in funding game development overseas as well as domestically. Tencent is a 600-pound gorilla in the room that, you know, like, I think some people within the North American and, you know, the European games industry don't want to acknowledge. But like, there's also, I guess, like, I look at it this way: what's that one foreign competitor, Alibaba? Just like how, wait, like, because are they a competitor to Facebook?
Not sure.
Like,
Let's
looking at the website, it doesn't actually look that bad, but the top creator has less than 200 viewers.
I just think it's interesting that they're
still amazing.
They're throwing a lot of money at that. Granted, you know, I don't believe there's a chance that I could go over there and average the same viewers I get today, right? Not a fucking hope. But
not with that attitude.
I think there's people, but I think there's people on Twitch that probably think, oh, you know, oh, I could get a salary of $800 a month. I'm gonna go over there, and I still haven't seen people move, which is, I think, goes to show that just throwing money at it doesn't always necessarily mean people are going to come over. I just thought that was an interesting thing that popped up in my email box, and I never even considered it. Like, I never thought twice, oh, I'm going to move to Trovo. But it's funny because I just wonder what what dollar amount is going to convince sort of these smaller creators to move over there, because there's no, I mean, there's a reason Trovo said, oh, it's up until the end of this year, because that's not, they're making a massive loss every month on that, presumably.
I wonder, though, if this is just them trying to reach out to like a Western audience to try and bring people in. I misspoke. Alibaba is not like the Eastern competitor to Facebook. Amazon. Okay. Alibaba is the 10th most valuable, one of the 10th most valuable corporations in the world. It's the 31st largest public company in the world. They do numbers, and basically, I think that it's easy to look at something like Trovo and say they're new, they're trying to put their hat in the ring, but their features right now and the stock of creators that they have right now is fairly weak by comparison to established platforms like Twitch and YouTube. But I think that they're trying to reach out to audiences that are overlapping with Twitch and YouTube right now. But like, you have a whole international market that is not being like Twitch and YouTube are not catering to those markets in the same way. And I think that Trovo could be, I mean, TikTok blew up because, I mean, TikTok is TikTok also Tencent?
I think so.
Let me just double check. I think TikTok is also Tencent. ByteDance still owns TikTok, but I think Tencent has some sort of, doesn't matter. The point is
You're
that
maybe
I'm
right,
just
yeah.
trying to say that like there are foreign markets that like honestly we are completely ignorant of because we're just so far physically removed financially and geographically that I think that Trovo may not feel like much of anything right now, and we can get these emails and look at them and be like, that seems ridiculous, like who's going to go there to this budding platform, but like it may not always be that way.
Yeah,
And also there's a strong chance that they're probably trying to really develop locally for Eastern audiences, and then if that does blow up, then I mean it could be as big here as TikTok became. Like I just I wouldn't underestimate it now. I mean, does it make sense to go now? No, but
yeah, it's interesting. Just there's a lot of platform jumping happening, and we've seen it kind of
What was
fall
the
in
other
on
one?
itself. DLive,
Gilgamesh?
was one. I think Gilgamesh was a platform. That's
Glimish?
Glimish.
Glimish? Yeah, that was it.
Glimish.
Yeah.
Glimish, yeah, that sounds right.
But on
Yeah,
this on
there's been
on
so
Trovo,
many
there's
ones.
actually a guy streaming. There's 8 people streaming Destiny on Trovo. One of which is averaging 44 now, 46 now. So I mean, this dude, if he's got that contract, I mean, he's the Destiny 2 streamer streaming to 46 people.
He's getting paid.
He's getting paid.
Yeah. I just think it's very interesting, and I wonder how, yeah, I mean,
American, too.
honestly, like what Grog says, I wonder how many people are like looking at moving over there, because I mean, again, while I don't think it would be conceivable for like myself to move over there, I think people probably will some people will bound to have taken that email seriously and jumped over, and it might be interesting to see in a couple of years where that platform is.
I think there's a lot of people in the streaming space that are fickle when it comes to new platforms, though. Like I subscribe to like a couple of people, and like they say, oh, I'm gonna be streaming exclusively on YouTube now, and then like obviously when Mixer was a thing, they went back to Mixer, and then they went back to Twitch, and it's like, where the fuck do I go to like watch?
Well, see, that's the thing. It's kind of I don't think it really matters necessarily to like smaller. I think it only matters like if you're bigger and you have a community, your community is probably going to follow you. So it doesn't really matter. And YouTube's big enough to where everyone probably already has YouTube. It'll be an easy transition. Yeah. For people who are just getting into streaming, I feel like if they're just getting into streaming, they're more familiar with Twitch streaming. So they're probably going to hop into Twitch anyway. You'll have a few that go to YouTube anyway. But I feel like there's probably a lot smaller number of people that are like, 100 viewers down average, moving over to YouTube.
Yes, sorry, I was speaking French there. Totally agree with you. Totally agree with you.
Yeah,
I think both what Humps and Condi said. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in a year from now. I don't think it's going to be much different. I think they're going to still average kind of the same shit. I think Twitch is probably still going to be the dominant one unless they do some crazy shit.
I think Twitch needs to do something to gain a bit of public favor back. I know everyone's
one
thing. That's not going to happen.
That was my segue. Go ahead.
Literally, I would say last year we said the exact same thing. If Twitch doesn't do something right now, they're going to lose a lot of content creators. A year later, 2 have left. 2 major players have left.
Well, speaking of things that Twitch has been doing to try and set things right, Twitch recently just started a lawsuit against 2 users based out of the EU that are linked to the hate raids that have been happening on the platform. So they're seeking legal action against 2 specific. They call out their handles.
Beta bitches.
Because they don't know their real names yet. I believe that was in the thing that they'll change.
But it says, yeah. So basically,
don't say their names. They don't need that infamy.
Twitch has instituted several charges aimed at mitigating hate raids. This is from Wired, a medium-ish article in Wired magazine. Company says it had banned It has banned thousands of accounts over the month, creating new chat filters, and has been building channel-level ban evasion detection. But stomping out botters is a bit like playing whack-a-mole. The perpetrators continue to make new accounts while obscuring their online identities to avoid accountability. And so, you are playing this kind of like circus game of like, for every so many, fake accounts you squash, new ones pop up, and it's this like constant race. I mean, it's like with any games company right now that is has a competitive scene with hackers. Like it's an arms race as who can get out ahead of the other faction first, and it's hard. But the lawsuit says that Twitch alleges that one of the persons cited is responsible for 3,000 bots associated with recent hate raids, and they have evidence where the person is caught demonstrating how bot software could be used to, quote, spam Twitch channels with racial slurs, graphic descriptions of violence against minorities, and claims other fucked up stuff. Long story short, though, is that Twitch says they have evidence. They are trying to pursue some action there. I think Twitch is reactive rather than proactive? Yes. I think that's almost like undebatable. But
how easy do you think it is to be proactive in this landscape? In that landscape, anyway.
I think in regards to this particular, in regards to hate raids and the botting, you have to be there's so much proaction that can be done in terms of setting up safeguards, but you can only be reactive when those safeguards are bypassed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you put in a speed bump on a road, you're being proactive against people, doing 60 down a straightaway, but there'll be some jackass with fucking lifted, like suspension that's going to fucking hit that thing and doesn't give a shit. And it's like,
right, so the speed bump's only there until the speed bump works until it doesn't. So I guess, that's kind of what they had. They had these certain things that were set in place. And then all of a sudden this jackasses with a big ass truck drove over it. And so now they kind of have to build a bigger.
In short, yeah. I mean, you either put in more speed bumps or you just literally radically change the landscape of the road.
Make it a U-turn for fucks.
but that's. I mean, I think most companies are sometimes some are faster to pivot, but most, if not all, are reactionary. And when I work for the city of Philadelphia, in terms of like municipal governance, like it's the same fucking thing. Year after year, if you had budget issues last year, you're going to have budget issues next year. If you have employee issues this year, you're going to have employee issues next year. It's not like they don't know, but for any major corporation, you reach a certain saturation point where the supply chain and the control of how the company operates is so extensive that you can't just pivot on a dime. I'm not forgiving Twitch of anything, but I think that it was interesting to see all of the people get fired up about the hate raids this summer on Twitch. And like realistically, I thought if you just step back and look at it, it's not like they aren't trying to do something about it. They were being vocal about having been banning accounts. It wasn't until this article ran in Wired magazine from a credible source, because Wired is an established magazine that's been around for 30 years, that people started sharing that on Twitter, and I saw people start to like, simmer down a little bit and be like, all right, Twitch is finally getting off their ass and doing something. And it's like, this news broke, but like they were already doing that before the news. You know what I mean? Like, it's being reported now, but I do think that they care and they're doing stuff. But I mean, like, honestly, like, we don't, if you go on any website now and you sign up for something, almost no matter how big or small, be a banking institution or just like some one-off, like point to point, like you're just going to buy a t-shirt online. You have to sign up for something and you have to solve a CAPTCHA. You have to solve a little like picture thing because bots are fucking everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think that people were being realistic in their assumption that Twitch was doing nothing and didn't care regarding that the hate raids are happening. I think that they were abhorred that it was happening because, if anything, they don't want to have that impact their ad revenue, and they don't want to have that impact, you know, I mean, they advertise themselves as a family friendly platform, and for any channels that aren't family friendly, you rate yourself as 18 or higher. But like, you know, that's going to affect their brand perception and whether or not they can continue to secure like ad contracts with people. So I think that it's like, I think they're doing stuff. I just don't think we know about it.
And the thing is, it's like they're doing stuff, and the whole reactionary side of it is like, you know, businesses in general, government especially, like it's a balance between setting up your speed bump and how much that speed bump costs, basically. So like, I put this much money into this preventative measures, it's working. That's the minimum amount of money that I can, you know, put in that has this work. And then now it gets broken, so now they have to figure. It's another thing where they have to like it's money. There's money involved. There's just so many more aspects to, especially subjects like this, more so than just Twitch doesn't care. No.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of things behind the things that they don't, you know, they're not going to tweet their entire fucking plan out, you know, or the business side of the plan. You know, there's things that are going on in the background that we don't know, don't necessarily need to know. But
and
like,
as we talked about Bungie at the top of the stream, like it's really easy for a company to set things right, you know, get it just so, and then dramatically course correct too far. And then you know, you've gone from just having like a few speed bumps to, you know, you've got to
you have a wall, right? And you're like, holy shit, man, nothing's working now. Geez, Twitch, way to fuck things up. It's like, holy shit, geez, we're trying to fix this thing.
And there are, I'm sure they have to take care of accounting for ramifications that would affect positive, like content creators who are doing the right thing, that if they make decisions that are too aggressive, you know, it potentially might have unintended blowback. So
yeah,
you know, that's I think that's one thing that Twitch did this summer that is good. They've recently started doing some other stuff in terms of, you know, well, again, I think taking action. To segue, there was a report cited by Billboard magazine. Sorry, not cited by, but a report generated by Billboard magazine. But it was reported elsewhere that according to this report, Twitch and the National Music Publishers Association, the NMPA, are close to signing a music licensing agreement that would put an end to ongoing DMCA saga on the platform.
I'm going to play so much death metal when this happens. It's going to be amazing.
Well, yes. Okay, so my question on this is, so say it goes through, say everything works out, all hunky-dory, and they're the biggest offender in terms of DMCA claims. That doesn't necessarily free you up, though.
It doesn't mean that DMCAs will.
Right. It just means the biggest
still happen.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, are you less likely? Way less likely? Probably, since they're saying they're the biggest offender. Probably, but like, it's not gonna. I have a feeling, and I'm more than a feeling, it's gonna fucking happen. Whenever this goes happen, Twitch is gonna blow up, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god, look it, we can fucking stream whatever the fuck we want now. Music's free. Woo! Good job." That's all you're gonna see. You're gonna see it tweeted, retweeted, all this
4
shit.
months later, then there'll be another row on Twitter.
And they'll be like, "Oh my god, how did I get banned? I thought we took care of this 4 months ago." That's exactly saying it here now. This is what's happening. This is the future right now.
Yes, 100%. You can look into a crystal ball. People will be elated. They're going to tweet about it. They're going to go back to either doing what they're already doing with you know, even more reckless abandon, or they'll like stop using, you know, copyright free music. They'll go away from things like Monster Cat and Harris Heller and NCS, and they'll go back to just streaming whatever they want off of Spotify. And the fallout will happen within weeks to months, where then people will get upset at Twitch and say they fucked up. And it's just like,
especially the other companies, they're like, "Oh, they got a deal? Okay, well, we just need to up our DMCA claims, and then maybe we can get a deal too."
Yeah, well, and there's different. I forget the name. There's a specific service that Twitch uses internally to scan for copyrighted content. That's why, for those who are currently in violation, if they look at their VODs, they'll see that they're muted. That's because Twitch has its own service running in the background. It's a bit like what's it called? Grace Note. How Grace Note is like this meta service, or it's a service for metadata that basically when you, let's say you buy a new car, you bought a new Chrysler, Lincoln, whatever, and like you're playing something off of you're playing something off of your phone, and it pulls up the information from the MP3 and has like it has the artist and the track and all that stuff there. Like Grace Note is one of those things where it keeps a log of like all that information, so it's just a database of like artist info. Like Twitch basically has the equivalent thereof that is scanning VODs for DMCA-able content and muting it preemptively. But that's just one software. There are other softwares out there that scan VODs and scan live, videos to file claims. The thing is, what we don't know is whether this just is going to mean that the whatever service that the NMPA is using, if they're going to just allow certain things to be hand waved, whereas there might still be other services out there scanning your content. Because remember, VODs, if you're saving your VODs, they're public domain. They can be scanned, and you can still be scanned real time. As technology becomes more advanced, like more live DMCAs will start happening, as they already have been happening. I don't see that this is the nail in the coffin. I think it's just a release valve, and things are going to get better for a little bit of time. But then
the only way I can see it getting truly better or significantly better than just like kind of a band-aid and let people get all hyped up about stupid shit is if this somehow rolled into a feature, the Twitch audio or some shit, like the Twitch music, some shit that you can use that's based off of this new contract, to where you can actually have decent music playing, and it's from Twitch based off this. That if that happened, that'd be fantastic. That'd be great. That'd be really
then
cool.
You're safe. You've got
then you're safe.
Library of music.
For now.
Well, I mean, you're safe because even before, when that guy was like, "Oh, I didn't know it," he didn't read the fucking thing. So
yeah,
It's
I gotta say, I've been watching a lot of streams this week. They're just listening to whatever the fuck they want still. So
I mean, it's there's like a handful. You guys are like the only people I know that stream non-DMCA music. That's it.
It just blows.
Do you continue to do it, Humps?
No, I don't. No. I used to do DMCA to stream and music to my ears, but I got tired of doing that, so I just listen to the DMCA stuff too.
Yeah, that's what I do. I still have everything on Pretzel.
I think nowadays there's more and more like DMCA free music coming out. Like Senpai Records, Harrisella keeps putting out stuff. I don't know if you saw that he done a deal with FaZe to get some. Well, yep. Sorry, you're right. To get some like upbeat, like some crazy tracks, and some of the snippets that I've heard, it's pretty fucking good. It doesn't obviously have vocals in it, which I would prefer, but it's still good music.
Well, it's gonna be good. It's gonna get better because I mean, this is what he shifted to. Basically, was music production. He's back in that. So like, I mean, obviously his stream beats on Spotify has absolutely done fantastic for him business wise. So I mean, he was like, "Well, shit, I'm gonna go ahead and just full send this."
a bit of a segue. I think it was like 2 or 3 days ago. He put out a video like showing the split of his money. It's something like 80% of stream beats.
Yeah.
Which is why he was
good for him
moving to YouTube. He said that because he now doesn't stream on Twitch anymore either. He moved over a few months ago. So
I mean, realistically, he doesn't need to stream anymore.
Exactly.
I mean, he only streamed like a couple days a week anyway. His streams were like anywhere between like 3, because I'd watch him every now and then, 300 to 600 people, which is a good amount of people. But like compared to like,
and he's building his house as well
and stuff. And
in that same video where he broke down his finances recently, he also shares when he was released from an NDA with Twitch after he's no longer under contract with them, and he broke down partnership splits and how all of that works. But he also was breaking down information that he could share about YouTube. I think one of the things that people fail to recognize, and when I say people, I just mean common bystanders, like seeing this stuff circulate about like, Lupo's leaving and Tim is leaving, like, should I leave too? And it's like people often aren't really taking into account the metrics for how they would even then become successful on this other platform.
Yeah.
To get monetized on YouTube, you need 4,000 watch hours within, I think it's a 6-month window.
Something
And
like
then
that, yeah.
and you need to be monetized to start, you need 1,000 subscribers. So for most people, that ain't happening for a while. Like, you would move to the platform and you would take no money. Whereas, like, if they're already affiliated on Twitch, they're still bringing in some money. But the thing is that, like, you technically it's against TOS to be an affiliate on Twitch and stream. You can stream on Twitch and YouTube simultaneously if you are not affiliate. But if you are getting paid by Twitch, you are not allowed to stream on, like, say, Facebook Gaming or Trovo or, you know, wherever.
Caffeine.
And I don't think that people are really, like, self-educating about the requirements for what it would mean to actually get paid out on these other platforms. It's not going to just be as simple as, oh, I'm going to switch from one to the other, and then I'm going to start being successful. And it's not just a question of how many of my viewers are going to come along. It's like, yo, you need fucking 1,000 subs. Like, you need 1,000 people to go on your channel and fucking like and subscribe, and then watch 4,000 hours of content before you
Is that
can
why
get.
you can't advertise OF on Twitch? Because you can't stream on other platforms?
No, I think that's just because it's
No.
sexual content.
Oh, but I mean, are you allowed to, if you stream on OF, are you allowed to do that if you're also an affiliate and above on Twitch?
Yep, you just can't do it at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think you can't put the same content on Twitch as you do on other platforms at the same
Okay.
time. That's
There-
why,
there-
like, people have to wait like 24 hours to cut up
because
the
a lot of people
YouTube
do like
video.
the multi stream, whatever that thing's called, where it'll
Yep.
stream to like YouTube, Twitch,
Yeah, you can't do that.
all these different places.
If you're
Okay.
affiliate, yeah, that's the thing. But I mean, technically, in
Okay.
theory, you could stream 3 days on Twitch and 2 days on YouTube as an affiliate. You can do that. I follow a couple people that do that specifically.
Yeah, I didn't clarify before. Multi-streaming is what you cannot do.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
so
just forgot about that.
simultaneously being live on more than one platform at once, which sounds like a fucking nightmare to me personally. But you know,
Well, I mean, it's probably not. I mean, yeah,
You get
because they have
bots-
like
you
they
get
have like
bots
they have
that
the
come
bots that combine the chat, and so
Yeah.
like it just. I think it's. I've seen one or two where it gets confusing for like the viewers because they're like, who are you talking to? Because they don't
Yeah.
see the other chat.
Yeah.
Well, even if you focus on that, there's certain bots that even put a message in the other chat
Oh
to say
shit!
like X
Jeez,
person
wow.
typed from YouTube, and it's like it's a lot of work. Just focus on one thing. Like,
Well, I mean, maybe that's not a bad shout. I don't know. Maybe. I
if
mean,
you're just getting started now, it couldn't hurt to do simultaneous YouTube and Twitch and see which one
yeah. I
is
mean,
working better for you.
because like you can do multiple. Because I think those places can even do multiples. You can even more than just 2 at a time. Because like you're only. It's not an
Yeah.
effect on your PC. You're streaming to basically this place, and then they're shitting it out to other places.
exactly.
And so like it wouldn't even really hurt your. Like I don't think that'd be because I mean it's essentially
I don't know.
diversifying your stream. I mean,
don't know
if
how
that's
that
your.
shakes out from a bandwidth standpoint, because you're streaming to multiple ingest servers. Like,
You're streaming to one service, and then that service splits it into every other service.
Yeah.
So you're only streaming to one service.
Yeah, but but the signal you send them, the band, like he's saying. So say you're sending them 6K, they have to split that 6K or copy it 6K and split that 6K up into 2 different places.
Not
But, like-
necessarily. They could take that and then send the 6K each way.
Yeah.
But it's just a straight.
but OBS isn't running its own like Twitch. When I stream,
No, this
when I
is a
go
different
live,
program. I forget what it's called. It's called
oh,
There
because
is a multi.
through
it's a
OBS
third-
you can do
it's a third
multi-streams.
party. Oh yeah. It's not through OBS. It's a third party. You stream just to this place, and then they do it for you. I forget what it's
Okay.
called.
It's
'cause
called
I was gonna say-
multi-stream.
multi-stream
Oh.
'Cause if you-
or something. Yeah.
It's literally
I thought it was
called
called
multi-stream.
something. For some reason, Decider was in my head, the place to find out where things are streaming, but like I don't know why that was in my
Yeah.
head.
Anyway,
Multistream.gg.
There you go.
it's I think Twitch
Oh, sponsored.
is I think Twitch is doing interesting things for the platform. I think they're trying to take action in regards to this deal that they're trying to close with the NMPA, with taking legal action against the people responsible for the hate raids. I think that They're trying. I think that they're just reactionary, but as we spoke before, it's like you're kind of in a position where you have to be reactionary because if something happens unexpected that you weren't planning on, that's all you can do.
Yeah.
One of the only other new things that has kind of come out of the news this week regarding Twitch was they started rolling out, if you go into your Twitch dashboard, so it would be under your dashboard and then settings and then affiliate or presumably partner if you're partnered. There's now a new feature that's been added to your ads manager. If it's not there yet, it may be there soon. These new sets of features were first like talked about around like a week and a half ago, towards the start of the month, and it allows for automatically running mid rolls. You can set the spacing and ad duration yourself. It also allows you to warn yourself, and you can even have a snooze on a scheduled ad. And basically, when I first went there under my page, I didn't have the feature. I saw screenshots that were available online of what it looked like. And then when I actually checked yesterday evening before the podcast, it's there. It is kind of cool. So the way that it's going to work is right now for people who didn't know, there's a feature that has existed where if you are running a channel and you are an affiliate and you have subscribers, you can choose to check or uncheck a box that says subscribers should also watch ads. That box is checked by default. So if you mess about with your ads manager and set mid-roll ads during your stream at a set interval, and then you choose the ad length, those ads still will not show to your subscriber base, which again would be another incentive to subscribe. But you can adjust the ad length of those mid rolls anywhere from 30 seconds up to 3 minutes, and then you can set how often they reoccur. As you adjust these sliders, it'll also show you a visual timeline, and it'll also tell you what your ad density is per hour. So the goal is they are really trying to get you to run about 3 minutes of targeted ads per hour. That is Twitch's recommended. I think that's also to hit their max CPM. But in terms of how you do that is entirely up to you. I mean, in theory, you could set 30-second ads and just run them very frequently and eventually hit 3 minutes in an hour. Or you could just run a single 3-minute ad, but it's going to be a mid-roll that you don't really control the timing of unless you snooze it. If you use the Twitch dashboard, you can put it up as a quick action. It basically just sits there with your other quick action panels. You can also set the notification for how early you want to be notified that something's going to happen before it happens. So you could set as low as 5-minute warning before the ad comes up. You could set it, I think, as far out as like 10 or 15 minutes before an ad runs. I guess maybe you would do that if you had like a longer 3-minute block. But if you ran 2-minute 30 ads in an hour, every half hour, that's your 3 minutes. And these do count towards turning off pre-rolls. So before, as we talked about on the podcast, Condi, mentioned himself that he would often run a few minutes worth of ads at the start of his stream when he was just starting. And that would allow for no pre-rolls for X amount of time for the beginning of a stream for anyone who came in that wasn't a subscriber. This will do the same thing, but it will do it throughout the length of the stream. So it doesn't matter how long your stream is. If you're running up to 3 minutes, and they don't have to be all 3 minutes at once. If it's 3 minutes within the hour, like I think it says every minute 30 seconds will delay pre-rolls for 30 minutes, and then I don't have it in front of me, but if you do a 30-second ad, it'll delay it, I think, for like 10 minutes.
That's not bad.
So you're still able to disable pre-rolls for people, but you don't have to front load the start of your stream, and it gives you the option to turn off the ad manager from kicking in until X number of minutes after the start of a stream. So you can go anywhere from a minute to 30 minutes. So that means if you go live 30 minutes into the stream, timer kicks in, it waits the set amount of time that you have. So if you have your spacing set to 30 minutes, your first ad would roll an hour into the stream, right? Because you're waiting 30 timer starts, another 30, ad rolls. You could also just have it 1 minute. So like you go, hey guys, what's up? We're just chatting here today. And then after a minute, like it just rolls the ad. So you choose when it starts. You don't choose when it stops because again, you've just set the interval. But you can snooze it. So if you're just like, if you're in a game and there's like a clutch thing happening, I mean, I guess you'd have to, depending on how your setup is, you'd have to be in a position where you actually notice the alert telling you. But if that were the case, I also wonder too, it would be something worth testing if this is something that if you're a moderator, you get a separate moderator panel for a channel. You go to like Condyfly / or like, you know, Sir Humps or Cyber / moderator, and you see a different page that actually has other features. I'm wondering if that would be a thing that is there, and if it's not, if it was, that would actually be really cool for your moderators to be able to say, okay, they're actually at the clutch part of a match. We're going to just snooze that, you know, for like a few extra minutes, and then it rolls after the clutch part of the match ends, or something. Dope. But mind you, your subs, as long as you leave it at the default settings, still will not see these. This is just randos who have either rated you or hosted you or, you know, stumbled across your channel would see these ads. But by running the ads, you also are disabling pre-roll, meaning that they might come in and not see the ad to begin with.
I like it.
So
I kind of like that. I just went ahead and set my shit up. So mine starts 1 minute because I do about 7 minutes of an intro. And so I have it 1 minute set right now. And then I have it every hour. So if they miss, luckily for me, there's not too many clutch plays. So, you know, I shouldn't have to worry about snoozing it. You know what I mean? Especially since I have to play with Condi.
I'm so torn on this still. I have mine disabled right now. I have it turned off because there's just, I guess, this thing still inside me that worries if somebody's just watching and they see, 3 minutes of ads, are they just going to immediately click away? If they've been watching the stream and suddenly
you can make it 30 seconds.
True, I know, but then I also I
and then disable 10 minutes of
and you're just a little corner, you know, you go up in a little corner, right? On these?
Yeah, you do, because it's a mid-roll. I don't know. I guess I still, even just on the 30-second ad, and I mean, I don't, like, I'm not saying what I'm thinking is right or wrong. I just have this little voice in me that's going, you know, if I've got ads set to run every, 30 minutes or every hour, how many people are going to click away versus how much revenue is that actually going to get me? But then also, it's not the revenue, it's also the pre-roll being disabled and bringing people in. And I just, to me, it feels like a balancing act, and I don't know where to set the scales, you know?
It's just
the ad manager's cool.
Ad banners. That's all they need.
Well, they have ad
banners. They have them.
Now. They have that.
Well, I just keep those. That's all you need.
But you don't have the choice to have just banners. It's either banners and all the others, or no banners. I don't know. I
actually, I don't know that that's true, because for stream display, if you go to your dashboard and then settings, then affiliate, in the section for ads, this is where the ads manager is. At the very bottom, where it says stream display ads, those are the lower thirds. Those are the ad banners that pop in.
Yeah.
If that's toggled, you could have the ad off. So here's the thing, just as a clarifier, because we all here know it, but just for anyone listening or watching, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're not sub to a channel, any channel you go to, irregardless of where you go, unless pre-rolls have been disengaged by the streamer because they've run ads already, or maybe they're a partner with a deal or something. But basically, you always see an ad when you go to a new channel, always, unless pre-rolls are disabled for some other reason. So your advertising is always baked into Twitch. But if you don't activate the ads manager, this new timed feature, effectively, you would never see an ad after the pre-roll if you never left the channel, and you would, and the streamer never manually triggers an ad. Yeah. But you could still have these stream display ads, which still like count towards your ad revenue, and you could have that toggled on, and those would still appear as a lower third that incrementally pops in from time to time. So it is possible to do that without manually running an ad and without timing ads, but you will always have the pre-roll at the start unless
Yes.
he was disengaged
That's
by some other means.
yeah. Sorry if I wasn't clear. I just meant that having the display ads unfortunately don't give you any ad-free time. They don't like if I
Correct.
press a button to run a mid-roll.
They do count like for
disables
CPM.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah. No. I just I meant in the sense that if I run a mid-roll, it disables pre-rolls, whereas the stream display ads are just kind of there or not there. They don't contribute to any ad-free time.
Yep.
I don't know. I think the ad manager's cool. I really do think it's a good idea. I think for me, I don't want to turn them on just yet because I do worry about, you get those people in the channel. Once they're in and they've sat through that pre-roll, they don't have to see any more ads unless I press a button, right? Which I typically don't, right? So they're in the channel. My fear is that on the hour, the 3 minutes are going to come in and viewership's going to half because people are going to leave, right? And that might not happen. It might not happen.
But don't run that density though.
I mean,
just
run
run.
Even still, a 60-second ad, or a 30-second or 90-second every half an hour, still feels like a lot. I have a very short attention span, and I would click off. Chances are. That's what I'm saying.
Woosa, calm down. Right, so you're all living in the realms of what if. The only way that you're gonna figure that out is to do it. Do it for one day and see if people leave. If they don't, then your anxiety is just getting the better.
You can run a test, Condi. It's not like you're gonna fucking lose your channel for running
I appreciate
couple
that.
days worth of.
I appreciate that. But I also think it's not.
And I would say if you really want to
a couple days worth of cheese and coinage out of your followship, but
But if you did want to ease into it, I guess I just want to emphasize to listeners and viewers out there, it is at your discretion. You could do a 30-second ad only once an hour on the hour. It could be as little. That is the bare minimum. Bare minimum is 30 seconds once an hour if you enable it. A maximum is 3 minutes. You can't actually even go over. You might actually be able to go. Can you go over 3 minutes per hour?
3.5 minutes.
Okay.
You could do 3 minutes every 8 minutes. In theory, if you wanted to.
But that's crazy. But I think the idea is that I look at it from the perspective of right now, aside from emotes and disabling pre-roll ads, subscriptions don't really have as much value depending on how you are looking at them. Like if you look at some viewers, I think genuinely look at subs as it's the equivalent of paying a busker. Like you enjoy the service. I like it. I want to support this person. I'm paying this person. Even if I didn't get emotes, I still want to pay them the $5 a month because I appreciate the community they've built, the service they provide, the content they produce. There are viewers, that's their goal, right? I think there are some viewers who will subscribe to a channel just so they don't have to get an ad. And there's some people who will subscribe to a channel just because they have a fucking cool range of emotes. But I also think there's plenty of people who are like, well, I don't really care about emotes, and I'm supporting the person by being here as a viewer, and I'm regularly interacting in their Discord and in chat. Like, but I'm, maybe I have the $5, but I don't feel so pressured to spend it. Like this actually incentivizes subs from the standpoint of giving them value. I don't think subs right now have a lot of value. I think you could be an integral and active member of a community, but you don't need to be a sub. Mm-hmm. And that's fine. Twitch is still a free place to like come hang out and watch content. But like if you're going to leave a place that you enjoy, if you enjoy the person you're watching and you enjoy the banter and you enjoy the community that's there in chat and you enjoy the content that's being generated, and you're going to leave because like you can't bear to watch a 30-second ad, like I don't know that any form of social media is for you, because every time you use anything, ads are just there. Like to me, I think it gives subs value again. Whereas I don't think they really had a lot of value before.
I agree.
Yeah, like I say, it's
Condi,
just I think it's a valid concern. I think it's
No, I mean, and it is a valid concern. I mean, because Grog is absolutely right, but then at the same time, I mean, you make a point too. I mean, it can and will most likely affect people's viewership a little bit. I mean, because I mean, if I'm clicking on someone new, and there's like a 30-second ad, I'm not sticking around on someone new. If I'm already in there, I'll probably hang out because I'm already there. But I think getting rid of the pre-roll is more important than seeing an ad once I'm already there. Because I will click away on someone new if there's an ad. But if I'm already there, I won't. You know what I mean?
I think there's more people than we realize that actually will stay. I think the fear is outweighing the reality. Because like the other day, I was watching a channel. They wanted to raid someone new, small streamer. This is a person who was broadcasting to like 2,500, 3,000 people, and they're like, "We're gonna go raid somebody small. We're gonna go blow up their channel. Like, let's go, do this." And you know what? We raided. Person seemed pretty nice. I dropped him a follow. Will I probably watch their channel again? Not necessarily, but you know what? That follow doesn't cost me anything.
Yeah.
I that's how I've also started looking at YouTube. If I watch a single video from a person and I just enjoy it, like where I got something useful out of it, I'm now subbing to their channel because I'm not looking at it now as it having costed me anything. I know that as a content creator, how much value comes with those metrics. Those metrics will eventually translate to, oh, you've got X amount of followers. Well, now we might consider you for sponsorship. So this guy, he was broadcasting like maybe 15 people, fucking like 3,000 people entered his channel. And I left him tabbed up while I was doing stuff for like another 5 hours. Because you know what? He was fine. But like, I mean, dude, I know that guy is going to fucking kill it this month in his numbers. And I guess what I'm saying is that like, is it a very real fear that people will get a 30-second ad and turn away? Yeah, but I also think there's plenty of other people out there who like get it and like understand that this may not just be a hobby for people and that people are trying to grow, and especially anyone else here that is growing. I think we of all people understand how important those things are. So when I see somebody big, raid someone small, or if I even just see a friend raid a friend, I just keep that window there because I know it's counting and I refresh it, making sure that I count as a fresh viewer.
Well, so, I mean, that's all. I mean, that's true, absolutely. But at the same time, I mean, it's a little bit of I call it the waitress perspective, in terms of like tipping. You know what I'm going to say? Yeah. It's like because like my sister, she's been a waitress for a while, and so she's like, she's that person. We go to a restaurant. She's like, I understand everything, so I'm going to leave a big ass tip because I know what's going on. No matter how many no matter how many streamers there are, and there's a lot, and every time we look at numbers, it gets more and more and more. No matter how many there are, there's still going to be vastly more viewers that may not understand that particular aspect of it. And I'm not saying that they do or don't care. There's so many different aspects of it, going into just like what you want to watch and whatnot. But it's just interesting to talk about.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and I'm playing devil's advocate, right? In theory, you could always do this, right? You can have a button on your dashboard. I do. That you can click and it'll run a minute or a minute and a half or 3 minutes. And if you wanted to, 6 months ago, you could have just had a little timer on your phone or whatever and pressed the button to run the ads. How many of you guys did that? Like regularly on the hour ran ads by pressing a button on the dashboard?
I only push it start. That's the only time I ever deal with it. It was just
like if I would go to the bathroom or something like that, I would hit it and I would go.
I have done that once or twice, but I would say
once or twice, but it's rare for me. I think that
for me it's rare too. I'd say maybe once every like 10 streams, I think, to do it. Even more so, I made a channel point redemption to take the guilt out of it. So I made a channel point redemption that says run an ad.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not like crazy low, but it's like a few hundred points, and it's just like, you know what, chat will see that so and so requested I run an ad, I'll run an ad, and like I do it guilt free because it's like I'm just
shout. Honestly, that's actually pretty good because like it's actually good.
But as long as I've had it, it's been redeemed like 5 times in like a year.
Hey, so like more than you probably would have pushed the button.
That's the thing, is that I actually like, me personally, I like this ad manager thing from a scheduling standpoint, because I set it so that I'll hit the 3-minute CPM for like the hour, and I set it so that it starts when I want it to, and I have it set up so it can snooze the way I want it to. Because I know personally, I'm not going to remember to do it. I just won't.
So that's the difference. Then I was saying is that the reason you weren't running ads regularly during a stream is more because you weren't remembering to do it, and not because you were just didn't want to run an ad.
You feel scummy.
Because that's it. Because I felt I would feel weird, particularly especially if I don't know. This is like a mental block I can't get over for me personally. And again, I'm absolutely no shade. Run your stream however you want to run your stream. At the end of the day, I'm not saying one way is better than the other. But for me,
I'm just saying you're a piece of shit.
If I'm actively at my PC streaming and doing the thing, I feel weird about hitting the ad button. And I've had people in chat say, "What the fuck? I've got 9 ads to watch." And because you run 3 minutes of ads and it'll play potentially a lot of ads. And I don't know. For me, the ad manager doing it automatically, yeah, it's great. I still just don't know if I want to do it. I don't think I will.
So here's a question, right? If you had to leave, like to go and grab something to eat, do you feel guilty about hitting the ad button?
No, if I'm gone, if I'm not at my desk, I don't really do it, but I would do it. I don't feel like that's a big deal.
It's not the question that I asked. If you were getting up and you weren't there, would you feel guilty about an ad running?
Maybe a little, to be honest. Maybe a little bit.
Even though people aren't missing any content?
Yeah, because I still think a lot of I don't know if I'm right or not, but I think there are some people on Twitch that are going to look at that and go, he's running an ad. That's kind of like a sellout move. And even if I'm not there, they're thinking, oh, he's just trying to get money in his pocket, right? Which we know that means nothing.
You are a sellout, Condi. This is your fucking business. You need. You want the guy. You want the viewer that would come in and be like, "Oh, this guy's a sellout." Exactly.
So think of it this way, right?
Think of it as a Condi community filter.
If you think about it this way, right? If you got up and you had to go and make yourself something to eat, we all know that you're doing this full time now, right? Let's say there was a 6 or an 8 hour window. You physically had to get up, go to the bathroom, eat something, right? Why is that any different from you being in the middle of a game and an ad running?
Because
answer the question. Don't spin it.
Because he's not. He's not
because
there.
If I'm not in the room, then they're physically not missing anything. It drives me fucking mental. If I'm watching a YouTube video and a mid-roll pops up, it's so annoying sometimes. Yeah. And I don't know.
But
because it's like, welcome.
Did you stop watching the video though?
But here's the thing:
if a mid-roll comes up on YouTube, did you stop watching the video?
On YouTube, 9 times out of 10, you skip after 5 seconds.
Yeah,
but you still got the interruption.
That's what Twitch needs.
But on YouTube, I'm not missing anything because the video goes right back to where it was. I'm not missing any moments, and
that's true. It picks up right there. Yeah.
So you're not missing any moments. So when you're out going and get like taking a piss or whatever and grabbing like a pancake, then you're not missing anything. So how is that like a bad thing to do if you like quickly set something up on your stream deck? As soon as you press that BRB, right, it's got a little sub action where it'll play.
Oh yeah, him setting some BRB, that'd be easy.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do by any stretch of the imagination. I'm really not. I'm just thinking, I don't know. I've always been kind of against having ads on my channel. If I had a button that could just turn off all ads and I get 0 ad revenue, I'd press it in a heartbeat. Because obviously the revenue is nothing. I know that that's unrealistic. Twitch needs ads. There will always be pre-rolls. I understand that.
It's not the world we live in, unfortunately.
See, for me though, more likely, if I need to go, hey, I need to just go and grab a drink from downstairs, run to the bathroom, I'm going to be gone for like a minute tops. I'm going to play the channel trailer or something instead, most likely.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, Condi, and this isn't because at this point I don't want to feel like I don't want you to think that like you're being dogpiled on, but I have a question because you out of all of us have had the most sponsorships. So I'm curious genuinely. What separates this for you from, say, just being an affiliate sponsor with whatever? I mean, you're still like I guess you've said things like selling out, and I guess I'm just interested in the stance of like
this is a safe space, Condi. You can talk to us.
Wanting to distance yourself from the idea that you are pushing anything onto someone that they didn't ask for versus you have chatbot commands that periodically promote, things that you've had in the past, that just come up and they just, you have a chat blurb every, 30 minutes for, gamer subs or whatever. And it's like, it's still, I mean, like, I guess
still an ad. Yeah.
It's interesting to me where the line is, because if the end goal is to get partnered and to get sponsored, because sponsorships are going to bring you money and potentially, drive revenue towards you via discounts that are forwarded onto your viewers, then there's still a business transaction happening. There's still I'm giving up part of my exposure to promote something else. Is this not the same as like Artesian or Gamer Subs or, like,
I'm actually with Condi now. I've swapped sides. I'm Team Condi.
I want to make it clear.
Traitor.
Right? When I say like sellout, I am not in any way, shape, or form saying that somebody who runs an ad on their stream is a sellout. I don't think
that's exactly what you're
like
saying.
I'm not taking the piss out of you.
Cyber, I'm gonna kick you back out this call. All right. Listen, like I am just trying to play the devil's advocate. I'm more than happy to be on the other side of this, right? For the sake of the conversation, because I think it's important. I feel like you make a fantastic point doing sponsored and things like that. I mean, I did a charity stream for Games for Love recently, and I fucking regularly throughout that whole stream was playing videos advertising the charity, because that's what we were there to do that day, right?
Yeah.
Now, the same things with like brands that I'm partnered with that will have like a chat command or something. Yeah, I appreciate they come in there as well. I think the difference in my mind is that a chat command or a little comment like, hey, use code CondiFly, is less intrusive to a viewer than an ad literally taking over the whole screen and taking over their audio, particularly on Twitch, because we all know there's about 5 ads that run on a loop, so you know them all fucking word for word. And it annoys me. Like, I can't tell you if I'm sitting watching a stream and I'm like, oh, this person went live. Click over to the stream. There's an ad running. Oh, okay. Well, I'm either not going to watch or I'm going to tab back over to the first streamer until I get bored again and then go back over once that ad's played and gone, right? I feel like it's less intrusive. Plus, I have that control to be like, hey, I've partnered with this brand that I, have made the active choice to say, yes, I'm happy to advertise that in some way, shape, or form. Obviously, an ad running on Twitch could be an ad for anything. It's not necessarily the control. Again, I don't think for a second that there's a right or wrong answer here. I don't. I know myself as a person with a short attention span, seeing an ad is likely going to make me click away. And maybe not. If I really like the streamer, if I like the creator, if I'm part of their community, yeah, I'm going to sit through an ad. I don't care. If I like the streamer enough, I'm probably going to be subbed and not going to see the ad anyway, right? But if it's somebody that I want to support and I want to hang out with, then yes, if they're, and there's an argument for, well, if you don't want people to leave, make sure your content's good enough so that they don't click away during an ad, right? That's obviously an argument as well. I just have this fear of the sort of overwhelming Zoomer short attention span audience that could be coming in. And I understand they've already had to go through a pre-roll, and that pre-roll is maybe keeping a lot of those people out anyway. But I don't know. So I just don't know where I sit on that, And I think that right now, it's not broke, so I don't want to fuck with it, you have
to think about it, like, having this ad management, that's cool, and you can decide to take pre-rolls out permanently or whatever, and you can just kind of, but if you just leave it be, I can see just leaving it be too, because like, if you think about it, all of us and 99.9% of everyone on Twitch that's going to be now having access to this ad management, the ads don't benefit us. No. You know what I mean? Like, we're talking pennies. I think Eve busted out 25 cents once.
Yeah, but remember when she was giving those numbers, that wasn't her hitting 3 minutes per hour. Like, this was trying to remember on this off times.
I mean, say it's 50 cents.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that we really have for our viewer base, I don't think we have a good representation of what the numbers are if we were trying to hit the 3 minutes an hour.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, but our viewer base is the top 1% of Twitch. You know what I mean? Like that, most people on Twitch don't have enough viewers to where they can actually manage the ads to where like, oh, if I can actually get rid of all these, but I'm actually, you know, I'm getting 3 minutes of like thousands of people watching this ad. Like, yeah, that's gonna give me a little bit more than 25 cents. So business side of it, whether I manage it or not, it's not going to benefit me monetarily. The only thing that it could possibly benefit is maybe turning off pre-rolls. So that's where Connie's like, I don't know where it's going to benefit me, because he's not looking at the monetary side of it, because he knows it's not going to help him monetarily. So it's no, I'm not shit on you, but you know, it's not going to help him monetarily. So it's more just like, well, now I have to figure out the least intrusive way to have this managed to where I can maximize my time on screen without affecting people so much in terms of just showing up or being there for a little bit. So I see where his mind's at. I'm on Team Condi. What can I say? Always have been, honestly.
I don't listen. I don't want to try and guilt you to switch over the fence. I just want to play. I'm not even necessarily saying I agree with any of the things that they're coming out of my mouth right now. I just want to be on the other side of it to kind of have the conversation, because ads have always been kind of a sensitive issue on Twitch. People don't like seeing ads. When the uproar when Twitch started just pushing forced mid-roll ads, and I don't know. I guess there's just a part of me that's like, hey, if I can just try and not have ads as much as possible.
I think that uproar had less to do with like mid-roll ads just rolling. Some of it did, don't get me wrong. I think more of it had to do with the fact that people didn't feel like they had a choice in it.
Yeah.
I think that was a moral outrage. I don't think it was really about the act of what was happening so much as the fact that they didn't have a choice in it. But if you have a choice, I mean, I guess, yeah, I mean, I totally see your point. And I appreciate that Twitch makes it a hard thing to decide, specifically because by rolling these 30-second or 1 minute or 1 minute 30 seconds, or if you're a maniac choosing to roll all 3 minutes at once, that like when that happens, you are then disabling pre-rolls, which then help you, your viewers. They've made it a tough choice because they didn't just make it about mid-rolls are going to happen no matter what. This is mid-rolls can happen if you choose, and it does help you both ways. You are going to make some ad revenue. It's not going to be a lot, but like, you know, as you grow, it does matter. You know, like the somebody that I follow for Apex, No Cocoa Puffs, he runs a 3-minute ad, sometimes even a 6-minute ad if the predator queues are long. He'll run like a 3-minute ad at the start of every hour. And he's been doing it manually. And he's just like, well, I'm sitting in a queue. I'm not doing anything. I might be here, but I'm not like really doing anything. The queues take forever at Predator rank. He's like, I'm, you know, and he is upfront with people. He's like, you know, if that's a problem, that's fine. But like, honestly, in the 4 or 5 hours I sat in his channel the other day, his numbers didn't go down. Like as a result, like he's been doing that since forever. If anything, his viewership has actually been going up over time. And I think it's just one of those things where there isn't a right or a wrong. You just try it for yourself and whatever works. I mean, I just think at the end of the day, though, we're going to have less of a choice going forward in the future with this platform because ads are going to come back into the mix. It's like Twitter. Twitter resisted being monetized for the longest time. Twitter is still a free platform, but in terms of like having any ad revenue, any ads and promoted content shoved at you, Twitter resisted that for years. And like now, you see promoted content all the time because eventually you can't run a free service without advertising. It just doesn't work. And we don't live in an age where people want to pay for social media. People want social media to be free. TikTok should be free. YouTube should be free. Like all of this should be free. And then the benefits that come with it, the perks that come with it, those are the things we pay for. So people pay for YouTube Premium to get rid of ads. People pay for Twitch subs so they don't have ads. And they also get emotes. And they also, you know what I mean? Like, I think that is still the fundamental current that runs through all of this is that I just look at it as it gives subs more value again, whereas I never really felt they had a value before because people could watch you, and why would they sub to you unless they were a person who had a moral obligation that they felt like they owed you something for your time and effort, and therefore they wanted to support you in that way. But some people still want to support you and they'll just watch, but they're not being given a reason to actually like sub.
I think the only way that Condi for you to take hold of this is something that you're not going to be able to do, and that is manually. That's the only thing I can think that you could meet all your requirements of getting rid of your pre-rolls, and also at the same time just try to think of maybe set an alarm once an hour just to kind of keep an idea. So if you're in queues for trials or queues for Apex or Bath, someone's on it, you're waiting for somebody, you can just be like, all right, well, and
I'm
then
gonna be honest.
at that point, and you're not going to do that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be totally honest. For me personally, I'm just going to leave this disabled for now.
Yeah, I figured.
I agree with Grog. Ads are just the thing that never goes away. It's always going to come back in another form eventually. Sooner or later, I'm sure people will be more or less forced into doing this. I mean, they already do this for their top-end partners. It's in the contract that they have to have ads running automatically every X amount of minutes or whatever, right? So that's all kind of, I'm sure, coming. I think for me right now, it's not broke. I'm not going to fix it. I'm kind of happy with how things are. I don't want to fuck with it too much. I'm just, I'm just kind of going to leave it as it is, see what happens. And you know what? In the future, if this becomes a thing that everybody's just using on the platform, then I'll look at it again then. But I'm going to be just leaving it off for now. I think that's my thing. But I mean, I'd be very interested to see, if you guys are setting this up.
If any of us sellouts will
I just want to
suffer from it.
see what's your thoughts on it. Has it made any notable difference in
I've done
2
nothing.
weeks,
We've
3
all
weeks?
told you we haven't done anything.
I haven't streamed in 2 months, so
You guys have
I'll let you know tomorrow. I set mine up. I set up a minute 30
I've
every 30
streamed
minutes.
a whole 3 times in the past 2 months.
I'd like
I'm
to
gonna give it a
few
shot.
Weeks, I want to know in a few weeks if you think that's made any difference. We all know, Twitch one day can be vastly different to the other. So, if you're gonna run it for a few weeks, I will take your feedback and think about it from there. But I think I'm gonna stick to my guns on this one. I just am for now.
You should. I think you should. honestly.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Let's go.
You
I'm
know
actually
what?
changing.
Now,
I'm
'cause you
changing it
said
right
that,
now.
Fuck you. Now I'm doing it because you told me to. I'm setting up right now.
Do you see how he treats me? Do you see how he treats me? I show him nothing but support, love, and friendship, and he just acts like that. This is the kind of Condi that I deal with on the daily. This is the side of Condi you don't.
Can I propose
see.
something? Pumps has tattoos. Condi has tattoos. I propose you both get a matching tattoo that is just a gaslight.
If you can, schedule, bro, this December, bro.
When you go to Scotland, let's get
Just a lamppost. A lamppost.
Bro.
Let's do it.
I said bro enough. 100%. 100%.
Fuck yeah.
That get us a shop. We'll go get tattoos from there. 100%.
I'll get Dale on it. She knows the tattoo places.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Get a gas lamp because that's all you guys do is just gaslight each other.
Yeah.
Easy.
True.
That's fine. It'll be a big gas lamp tattooed on my ankle.
My calf.
My tibia.
Anyway, I think that about does it for today. Thank you for the insight, the conversation. As always, it's a pleasure.
You're welcome.
Cyber, where can everyone find you on the internet? And what have you got coming up this week?
I don't know what my fucking handles are. I haven't said it in 3 months. Unholy Cyber on everything. Twitch, Twitter. This week I'm gonna focus. Damn straight. Money's tight. This week I am gonna be doing mostly like stream graphics and stuff like that, reaching out to a lot of people. I've got to make some money. So I am gonna be segueing into the business side of things rather than streaming. Plus, the internet here is garbage. I am currently on Wi-Fi, so I've got a dongle, and we all know that's shit. So I'm speaking to the management company here, and I'm saying I'm gonna be the only one with wired internet. I want it, and I'll do it myself if you let me. Because literally, there's a cupboard right there, and on the other side of it is where the server is. So I could literally drill a hole through the wall and drag in a cable, and I'm gonna do it. So apart from that, that's it. I'm gonna be playing some games for you guys, hopefully. If the PC will allow me.
All right, hope so. Grog, where can everyone find you?
I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/grogmode. Monday through Thursday, it's just me. And then on Saturdays, I do a co-stream with my wife, Arcade Riot. She's back from vacation, so we'll be playing more Unraveled 2 on Saturday. But then this week, I think I'm going to start Hellblade. And I'm also going to be hopefully doing some Apex once they get the servers sorted. Our buddy CK has said that he thinks that there's a way that you can do it without crashing up until they fix the patch, but I'll test this theory out. In any event, I stream a lot of shooter games, and I usually rotate in like a single player game here and there. So you can also find me on other platforms like TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at gamer_grog.
Cool. Humps.
Hello, I am Sir Humps. That's the name of this lovely voice you've been listening to. I stream. You can find me Sir Humps everywhere except for Twitter. You can add an underscore and then you'll find me there. If you were to just type in Sir Humps, you'd probably still find me because the only real one's banned or some shit. Anyway, long ass story. Don't worry about it. I like playing Destiny. I'll be streaming trials and stuff. That's kind of what I do. This week I have plans I've got a lot of things going on, a lot of big things will be. I keep saying that we're getting there,
bro.
But I do want to say real quick. I want to borrow the stage for my wife real quick. She just had her birthday. Happy birthday to my wife.
Hey, happy birthday to you.
No, that's trademark. That's trademark. You can't. Yeah.
Happy birthday, MC.
Mute him. But she her business, she sells nail polish. They go on your fingers like stickers, but it's 100% nail polish. Pretty dope. Colors, designs, all the good stuff. If you're in the United States or Canada, she's doing a ballin' ass sell. Right now, if you're in chat, I put a link right there if you guys want to check that out. United States, Canada, really cool nails. Check it out. And yeah, so that's all I got. Condi, what's going on with you?
Not too much. You can find me CondiFly everywhere. Gonna be trying to focus more on YouTube this week. We'll still probably knock out some streams, but I am way behind on YouTube uploads, so I'm going to be focusing on that. And really, I'm going to just be sitting alone in my room in the dark playing Valheim because I'm obsessed with that game again. So that's going to be my week. More importantly, please check out the podcast if you've been listening on any of the audio platforms. We do this live on Twitch, twitch.tv/ZeroStrategyPodcast. The link will be in the description. Or if you're watching on Twitch and you think you maybe learned something or found something useful or helpful, then please consider going over and checking out the Spotify and YouTube. We have all our previous episodes up on there with various different topics that might be of use. Thank you very much for listening. I'm sure we'll be back next week, but we're going to go raid someone, so please stick around for that. We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.